Hi guys, welcome back to our final episode of Between Us Foos of 2019. Today we're going to be answering the questions that you guys have asked on Instagram for the past week or 2 weeks or whatever. So Between Us Foos, let's talk about it. Hi guys, welcome back to our final episode of Between Us Foos for the year. It is our Christmas and New Year special. Today we have our usual foos, and pretty much we're gonna answer all the questions that you guys submitted through Instagram to the best of to the best of our ability. Yeah, so let's go ahead and get started. We're just basically gonna take turns picking from our little bucket right in the middle. We'll read it out loud. And thanks for everyone who submitted your questions. We hopefully will get to yours. But pretty much we're gonna read it out loud and then we'll just kind of answer it as we see fit. Yeah, cool. So first question.
Here we go.
Okay. Oh, this is hard to open. Hold on.
Don't rip
okay.
it.
Okay, this is from user JNSLMN.
John Solomon.
John Solomon.
Oh my God, yeah.
What's up, dude?
Hello. So his question is, what advice would you give people who are interested in the show production side of dance? Whew. So, I mean, how many of us have actually produced a show? I know that you have a lot of experience, Donita, with it. And stuff.
Yeah. Well, depends what the definition of show production, I would say. Because there's TV production, there's stage production, then there's film production,
Mm-hmm.
What was the question exactly? What advice?
Advice.
Yeah, advice for people who are interested in show production.
I would say networking, probably, just anything in the creative arts realm. Knowing a lot of people, especially in that industry, our production requires so many people. So from your backstage, from your sound engineering, from light engineering. So if you get to know people and just get your foot in the door, then hopefully you'll tap into a little bit of a community and stuff. But yeah, I think gain some experience as well. So volunteer for some shows. Yeah, pretty much just kind of get out there and gain some experience, skills, put something in your portfolio so that people know, especially in the production, people will look at what shows you've done. So I did this musical or this competition or this show, then whatever part you did, it's kind of a big accolade in your portfolio.
Accolade.
Yeah.
That's a good word.
Yeah. Yeah, so I guess, so in show producing, I think definitely get to know people, gain some experience, and pretty much kind of just keep being involved. I think it's a really I don't want to say aggressive, but you gotta be almost proactive in that industry. You have to go find things to be a part of, and instead of waiting for someone to call you, you gotta offer your help and stuff like that. So
I think all of us have had experience at least on the performance end. So
Right.
I think that's almost even step one, weirdly, is just to kind of see the inner workings, because as a performer you go through the process. Of course there's a whole lot more of other things, a lot more logistics, a lot more planning and stuff, but I think my advice would be kind of just to start small, maybe.
For sure.
Just to kind of see your process and just the types of people and jobs that you need and tasks that you need. And then from there you just kind of scale. It's kind of almost weirdly how we operated with Monday Night Workshop 2 on 1 Studios. It was pretty much just do the same thing, but every day. So that's
totally
pretty much
agree
what
with
it was.
that. Yeah, you never know when a small little performance can turn into a huge production. So yeah.
Yeah. All right,
Can I
next.
add on?
Oh,
a
yeah,
little
go,
bit
go,
to
go.
that? I feel like also for whatever the reason you want to throw on the show, like make sure like that resonates strongly. If that makes any sense. Like have like a solid foundation of why you want to do something, because I feel like nowadays there's just so many different kinds of shows, and it kind of just all gets I guess oversaturated for lack of better words. But yeah, I feel like anything you do, like make sure you have your why and like expand on that. Don't just be another thing that's already out there.
Yeah.
Like what can you offer differently? Yeah.
Cool. All right. Do you want to pick the next question, Brandon?
Heck yeah, I do. Okay. This one is from Trung Gangstalicious. It's a long name. All right. This is harder than it looks. Question is, are you planning on bringing some new dance styles to the studio soon?
Ooh. That's a good question.
Define soon.
Define dance styles. Just kidding. I don't know. Who wants to answer that?
I can. Yeah. I mean, we're definitely bringing in some new blood in this upcoming season. It's pretty exciting. Like just to kind of expand our teacher base. So in terms of just like basic urban choreo style, like yeah, there's going to be different styles coming in pretty soon. In terms of like really radically different dance styles and stuff, we're in the process definitely of expanding. There's a lot of people that we're pretty much working on the back end to kind of work out a deal pretty much, or just like to figure out like if we align or whatever else, if the relationship is good for both parties, and we're definitely trying to like expand and stuff. In terms of next year, might not be the upcoming season, might not be spring, but who knows, summer for sure is a great opportunity for both parties next fall. And even beyond that, like we're always looking to just basically expand our styles, because we want to be able to be the bridge, like one of our mottos pretty much. So be the bridge between these communities and just have this space be that space to have everyone come together. Yeah. That's it.
So yeah.
Look forward to
The
it.
answer is a yes.
Short answer.
Yes.
Sooner or later.
Do you want to pick the next question, Kim?
Your
Can I
turn.
reach?
Can you read?
Okay. Let's see. There. Sit still. Is this
Ooh,
someone that
folded
we
the other
know?
way.
This question is from Kevin Sutardji, our cameraman.
He's right there.
Okay. What topics are you most excited to talk about for next season?
Ooh. Okay.
Have you guys thought about this?
Kind of. I mean,
Maybe.
Okay.
yeah.
I know we've compiled like a list of all the topics, of all the things that we've wanted.
Like brainstorming,
Yeah, we've
yeah.
brainstormed, but what's...
So, I mean, we did decide on a lot of the topics that we are going to talk about next season. The one that I'm interestingly particularly really excited about is the conversation about K-pop.
Oh.
That's going to be a really interesting one, because I think there's just basically maybe a lack or maybe a weak understanding of each other's communities. And I think people vaguely know about what the other one is, but I would definitely love to see those two worlds, I don't want to say collide, what's the word? Like combine or
Interact.
like interact. Yeah, basically. So I'm really excited about that one in particular. But yeah, I mean, what else are you guys excited about? Even if it isn't one of our topics, maybe something that we could talk about in the future.
For me, I've been waiting to talk about like balancing life, aka time management.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I've been waiting to talk about that. I know we are going to, it's just a matter of when.
Scheduling's hard.
Because yeah, I think it'd be really helpful for anyone that listens to this podcast, how to kind of prioritize and think about something that they're doing on the side, alongside work or school or whatever, and then kind of seeing different tips and different ways to approach things and stuff, and like hearing about people's experiences and stuff. So I'm excited about that.
I know we all need it. That one, that's gonna be a really
Yeah.
interesting one. We've all experienced it, so yeah.
Anything come to mind, Brandon?
No.
I think we wanted to do one that was pretty heavy, talking about what urban
Oh
is,
yeah.
right? That's
Oh, like how
something-
do you define
Yeah,
it?
how do you define
Oof,
that?
Lifelong
that was something
question.
that we've wanted to do.
Yeah, I know that there was like a topic that I think you brought up in one of our meetings before about like, not urban, but like breakdancing becoming an Olympic sport. Is that right? And I think that's almost weirdly part of it. Yeah, I think it was you. It was like, is dance a sport or an art or both, or what's the percentage? You know, like I think that's actually a pretty interesting one that that's in the pipeline right now too.
Yeah.
So that is a part of a bigger topic
Yeah,
as a
true.
whole.
But I mean, if you guys have any other things that you're interested in wanting to hear us talk about, then be sure to comment and let us know, because we're all ears. So. Ears.
In your ears.
Waiting.
Okay.
I think it's your turn, Donita.
Yeah, I
Oh,
can't
me.
think of any.
Okay.
It's hard to open. So
Maybe I don't need
Four
to
words.
open it. Ooh, this one looks good. From at Careless Newt. I hope I read that correctly. What's the best dance tip you ever got that was life-changing for you? And everyone needs to answer this. According to the
Okay,
Sorry,
careless
could you
Newt.
repeat that one more time?
yes. What's the best dance tip you ever got that was life-changing for you?
Let me dig in the archives.
What's the best dance tip? That was life changing.
Life-changing. I
That
know.
could go into so many different
know.
things. I think, I mean, I'm looking at it two ways. Like, dance tip as in, you know, actually dancing like on stage or like performing. Then
Right.
dance tip as in like, you know, like a dance life tip.
Life
You know
tip.
what I mean? So,
Hmm.
what's the best dance tip you ever got that was life changing for you? I like this question.
I know. I wish I had more time to think about this one.
Okay, I'm just gonna like go
Whatever
for
comes
it.
to mind. Okay.
Okay. I think it's. Hold on.
Need more time?
It's. I know that I learned this tip in a Monday night workshop because I specifically remember it was a choreographer, and not it wasn't a regular class, and it was like, it was a tip about kind of like how to learn, or like, you know, what would help you, I guess, succeed in this class or any class. And I can't remember the tip specifically, but it had something to do or along the lines of like, kind of like listen first, or kind of like, if you have a question in mind, don't ask it right away. Kind of wait until you absolutely need to ask it, because it kind of pushes you to figure it out yourself
Right,
first.
yeah.
So then, like, for example, let's say you're like learning the piece and you're like, okay, I don't get this, I want to ask a question. Instead of like asking it, raising your hand right away, kind of like waiting a few minutes and like figuring it out yourself. And then if A, you figure it out for yourself, then cool, like, you know, you just push yourself. And then to kind of like figure out the answer. Or two, sometimes other people ask it, you know. It's kind of like, it's just a weird, not weird, but just a way to, I guess, consolidate your learning process a little bit and push you to be a better student. You know what I
Right.
mean? So like, instead of like giving the teacher all of the responsibility, you kind of put it on yourself too. If that makes
Yeah.
sense. And I think life-changing, yeah, I guess I think like I like take class and like I take class differently, you know what I mean, like after that, or like I like nowadays I take class differently from how I used to take class before, if that makes sense. So somewhere along the lines, I think I received a tip that just made me a better student, if that makes sense. So yeah, even in dance teams, you know, like
Oh, yeah.
like how you learn and stuff.
Yep. It's a good
So
one.
yeah, I think that was it. It just feels like that was it. I don't know if that was it.
I think one I got was it was either Dana Wilson or Jillian Myers or both, maybe, because I've taken both their classes. But I think it was just almost the way that they had approached choreography, in terms of just saying, oh, yes, and like always saying yes, and I think it really, for me, that was, in terms of the way that I approach choreographing or the way that I approach my dances was very eye-opening, just to be like, okay, like if my body wants to move in this direction, what else can I do in that direction? And I think it really drills into the idea of exploring your movement, and exploring your movement. And that was a conversation I had with Jillian too, about like, just your movement is yours and don't let anyone take that away from you. And so that in itself too was also very like eye-opening. Like, I think I used to be so meticulous about like every move that I make has to be perfect, but now it's like I kind of just like, okay, if it feels good, it feels good. You know, like I'm just gonna do it.
And if it feels good, it looks good.
Yeah, I mean,
will,
it looks
right?
natural, right?
Yeah,
Like,
there
so
you go.
yeah, that was mine.
I think mine wasn't necessarily told to me. It was something I kind of figured out for myself along the way. It goes along the lines of like, dance is everything and it's also not. Like, dance is so important to us, and it's obviously the main reason why like a lot of us are like where we are today. And like, you know, but at the same time, there's like, life is so much bigger. And so it's like, I don't know, just some people kind of get lost in the sauce of like, oh, dance is my life, and like, and that's totally fine, you know, but some people kind of like, I don't know how to explain this well, but I don't know, there's just so much more to life. And I feel like at one point in my life, like, dance was all I could think about, and like trying to accomplish my goals and all this, and like, you know, make my way to the top. And then I just kind of felt like, I don't know, it's like the dance community is so big, but yet it's so small in like comparison to like the grand scheme of things. And so I feel like that's the one, I guess, life-changing tip for me, because it changed my perspective on how to approach like saying, one example is like taking a class from like, oh, a super famous choreographer, like young me would geek out and like not know how to act. But like taking a step back, I see that person as like another human being, and it's like, I'm gonna treat him or her as such, and like so on. And then I just feel like the experience is just so much better on both ends.
Okay, so I want to say freestyling, because I know when I first started dancing, it was always about learning choreography from other people, but a hurdle that I had to get over was the fact that I felt so uncomfortable. You know, I would learn this movement from someone else, and then like just seeing myself take on this movement and looking at myself in the mirror, I was just like, oh, I don't know how I feel about this, right? And I feel like the first hurdle you have to get over is being able to understand your body and your movement, and being comfortable with that before you can even, you know, take and grasp another person's movement as well. And so I remember back when I was on Chocolate Factory with you guys, with Kevin, the other Kevin, we would make it a thing every week. We would take an hour and just freestyle. He would put whatever song was on, and we'd just go out there and freestyle. Like, we would just like rotate and just go back, and we'd videotape each other, and we'd look back at it and say, okay, cool. Like, this is what I liked. This is what, okay, you know, just so that we can build that self-confidence. And we had the reel of just like all these videos that we did of our own movement and songs that we liked, or like we felt to, and things that were maybe a little bit uncomfortable, so we could explore that range of movement. So that was something that was big, and I feel like more people should just take advantage of. I know freestyling is a really scary
Definitely
portion of it, because it's
Kevin's
very
scariest.
yeah, like vulnerable. Because I know, like on dance teams, it's always like, you know, okay, you've got that freestyle portion, and everyone's gonna watch you. We're gonna put on some music. But I think after that, I felt a lot more comfortable with the way I moved. I got to kind of figure out like how I moved and what my style was. And so, yeah.
Actually, now that I remember, if I have time to add on quickly,
Okay.
because you mentioned Dana Wilson, right? And you mentioned videotaping. Actually, the one time, this is actually a very important tip to me too, but I just remember now since I went first. But no, so I auditioned for her like secret team way back when she lived in Sunnyvale, and she had a team here in the Bay Area.
Was it?
It was like the Bureau of Nonverbal
Cabinets or
Communication.
something?
Yeah, it was so
Whoa.
dope. I actually went with Vanessa. But we auditioned, and then like after the audition, they tell you if you made it or not, and then like you get an email, and then if you have questions, you ask her. So I emailed her. I was like, what's like a dance tip? Like, what are your tips? And the one that she gave me, which is very special to me, is that she said, just one day, just videotape yourself and just dance, right? And then after that, don't watch yourself right away. Take a day, because then like when you're doing an experiment and you look at the subject right away, it's like it's not the same. So anyways, she said look at it the next day and then kind of dissect and figure out what you like and what you don't like, and then that's when you start working on yourself. Because I asked her like, how do I become a better dancer? That's the all-knowing question. But yeah, so that was a cool tip from Dana Wilson. Like, I just remember that now. And that's actually a pretty life-changing tip. I put it on my Tumblr and everything.
Sick.
On Tumblr, when it's on Tumblr.
That's legit when it's on. You make a post about it.
But yeah,
Repost.
here you go,
Alright.
Kevin.
All right. Next one. This is from another friend of ours, Daria for Pope.
What's
Dari.
up, Dari?
We miss
Dairy
you.
for hope.
Oh, I tried saying it right. What did you say? I don't know. So her question is predictions for 2020 dance trends.
No.
Predictions.
I mean, that's real hard to like predict.
Predict.
But
It'd be cool if one of us get it right.
I know that's true,
Okay.
actually.
What's going to be on the rise?
I feel like some other random artist is gonna get famous for like making up a move or whatever.
Like, the Whoa got famous, right?
Yeah. I never actually knew where that
always.
stemmed from.
We never know.
I never know where any of them
anything
stem
stems
Oh,
from.
okay. Yeah. What if we just do? We just started the dance trend.
Okay, what's
true.
the next dance trend then, Kevin?
Oh, I don't.
Predictions.
I don't know. I feel like it'll be like
In general, I feel like people are just gonna start dancing more.
Yeah.
Like it's just gonna like become a thing, like a cool thing to do. Like, oh, you don't dance? You're not
Yeah.
cool.
maybe. I think we got to start looking into like TikTok. Like I feel like
yeah, I
that's
don't
where
pay
the dance
attention.
trend is gonna start
agreed.
from nowadays.
Agreed.
Yeah,
That's
if not
what-
there or not, like it'll be Twitter.
Yes,
Yeah.
I predict TikTok.
You just
will
gotta like be on
beat
TikTok
Instagram.
and then just every day like think of a move and just do it.
And
then
just
see
hope it goes viral.
You know how people wear their sweaters like half on?
Yeah.
Oh,
What if?
it was all the way off.
Yeah, it's completely off. Like,
Wow, what
not
a-
on your body where it should be. I'm just kidding. I don't know.
I wouldn't be
Kevin.
surprised like if they created the sweater with just like one sleeve, unless that already
Oh my
exists.
god.
Like I bet you, like that might be a
probably
thing.
does.
Like you can buy it at Urban
What
Outfitters.
are some trends that happen already? I mean, there's fashion trends like the dad hat and the half sweater. Remember Chachi pants?
I remember that thing where the girls would like
Oh.
stuff their shirt into their
Still, people still
sports
do
bra.
that.
Yeah, but
Oh.
that they didn't do that 5 years ago. For sure.
I mean, is it a trend if it's still happening? I feel like dad hats are like here to stay.
it's true.
True. Why are trends just fads? They're just a fad.
Are they synonyms?
Yes.
I don't know.
Okay. I
I
think.
don't know.
That's it.
Yeah.
Hope we answered your question.
Thanks, Terry. All right, go ahead.
Next one. Okay, this one is from. We're just picking all our friends. At Jesse/LOL2. Is this who I think it is?
I don't know.
Okay.
Is that who I think it is?
Do y'all believe? Yeah, that's who I think it is. She talks like this. Do y'all believe dance can create a major positive impact on issues in our society?
Yes.
Yes.
Quite frankly. did it say positive impact or positive negative?
It said
Positive.
Positive.
positive. Major
positive
impacts
to impacts of society.
for sure.
I mean, I think it already is at this point. I mean, the biggest thing that I can think of is the I guess toxic masculinity sort of situation. Of course, there's like dance is going to be a catalyst to like fight that. So that's always like that's something that's I guess happening now, more or less. So I think dance is already creating such positivity to the community and to society and stuff, and that's why
That's
we went
true.
into this industry, you know.
I was
So.
watching Eddie's $1 Million Cook-Off, and
Disney
it was
Disney Plus.
it was all it was about cooking, and like it's about that toxic masculinity, because his dad was like, "You're a guy, you're not supposed to cook," you know what I mean? So I think that's what dance is right now, like trying to break those barriers or those stereotypes.
Slowly, right? I feel
Slowly.
like it's always been that way. But with social media and stuff, issues are coming, or it's more available for us to see. But yeah, I feel like dance it's always been an outlet for us, right? And so with that said, that's already a major positive. But I think with the exposure that it's getting now, it's for sure like becoming more and more exposed to the world. And so yeah, I think its positive light is definitely spreading.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Okie
Dupe.
doke.
Go ahead.
Thanks, Jesse. Lol, too.
Ha 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 ha. 2 times.
Okay. This is from Doogie.
Sup, Doug?
You just know
One of
everyone.
my performance workshop
Oh, no
students.
wonder.
Okay, so he asks, any plans for expansion? Take it away.
Pack.
Expansion pack, DLC. Online Studios DLC. No.
Dude, we should make a game.
Oh, snap.
Just,
I'm sure we
like
can.
just dance or like connect.
Oh yeah.
That should be its own podcast. Huh? We should just play connect. No. Expansion.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's like yes. Timeline is a little hazy. I think that's basically it. I mean, we're always looking to like expand and grow and do new things and just be able to connect to more people. There is just like a lot of back end factors, like, for the first part is just time. Most of the owners still have full-time 9-to-5 jobs on top of this. So it's like, it's really difficult to to really go forward with that type of situation until we are personally ready in our lives to take that next step. Because I think if we open up that second space or third space or 10th space or whatever, or East Coast, whatever it is, we're gonna have to fully commit to it 100%. And it really is just the timing. I think all of our lives are crazy right now. It's crazy to be an entrepreneur, but you kind of need to do it in the Bay Area to survive. But short answer is again, yes. We're looking to expand for sure. I know that a lot of people are trying to have us buy out the Taekwondo space that used to be next to us.
I think maybe that's what he's thinking, and it's not a no, but it's also not a yes. I think it's if the stars align, if everything goes right, it'll happen. But yes, so yes,
Yeah.
sooner or later.
Will we call it Deuce?
Deuce? I don't like that.
What was the other name that we wanted to call
On
it?
and a
Another
two.
And a
by
two.
Alex.
And a two.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
And a two.
Yeah, or something, or on 2 Studios, whatever. Yeah,
Doesn't ring a nah.
I know, on 1 Studios East Coast edition. I don't know, we'll see. But
yes.
definitely expansion, and expansion can honestly actually take a lot of different forms. It doesn't
Forms.
have to just be a second location.
Or
So
physical expansion.
yeah, so who knows? There is stuff on the way though, which I'm super excited about. So just stay tuned, guys. There's a lot of new exciting stuff coming up this year.
Zimmy.
Yes. There hasn't been a question where we said no.
Okay, this is from @Sarah Ching.
Oh,
cool.
What's up, Sarah?
Okay, Mr. Popular.
How do I not freak out during class and forget everything by the end?
Oh, that is a good question.
That is a good question.
How do you not freak out during class and forget everything by the end?
Take deep breaths.
If you do, it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
If you forget it, it's not a big deal. So like, I think the reason why you freak out is because you're putting so much pressure on yourself to like get it perfect, or to remember everything. If you just let it go a little bit and just kind of focus on one step at a time, then like guaranteed it'll naturally just happen. Would you guys have anything to add?
I agree. Everyone in class is focused on themselves, so if that's a thing that's adding to that, like, don't worry about what other people are thinking or like any of that, because they're basically probably thinking the same things you are when they're learning. So yeah, and it kind of goes back to like, it's just a dance class. Just have fun. Yeah.
At the end of the day, if you remember just 2 steps out of the 2 8 counts, then that's still
That's a
still
win.
better.
Yeah.
That's more than you came in with.
And when you get out there, you
Still
better
progress.
kill those 2 steps.
Exactly. It's all about progress here.
I know. Like, I think the big thing, that's a big issue that I still have as well. When I take class, I'm like, oh my God, I got to do the best. Otherwise I did the worst. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's something that I'm still struggling with, but I think maybe take some solace in that, like, you're not the only person that's having that, what's the word? Struggle. There was this meme that I saw that was like, the most comforting thing to hear in college is, oh, did you start too? No, I didn't. And it's like that same thing where it's like, yeah, like you find comfort in that you're struggling together, so yeah.
Even though the world is burning. In that moment.
What is that?
Like that
that
dog.
Oh yeah.
This is fine.
Did you see the one where they reversed it, where it's the
what?
fire, but there's hella puppies?
Yeah.
Fire's
Yeah.
like,
I've seen that.
this is fine.
Okay.
Let's move on.
Is it my
Yep.
turn?
Yep.
Oh shoot.
Do you think we can get through them?
Okay. Yeah, I think we can.
Let's
We
do
gotta
it.
power through one
Alright.
more round,
Yeah, let's
and I
do
think
it.
we'll be good. Okay. So this is from @JonathanJames2.
No.
What's up, Jonathan?
You know? So, was it hard to start off running your business? What obstacles do you guys had to face?
Ooh.
That was
That's a question for you too.
I mean, you guys were there from the get-go.
I know,
too.
yeah, like, I think-
you were there Kickstarter days, so
Yeah.
I mean, what was the question? Was it hard?
was it hard? And
Oh
what
yeah,
was
it definitely is. Like,
Yes.
I
Short
think
answer.
someone told me that passion literally means to suffer, and so it's not. I guess it's not a good thing if it's easy. That's also another quote. Just speaking quotes now. It was hard for so many reasons, and I think if people didn't like know that, or if it seemed like it was easy, then maybe we just hide it really well, But yeah, it was definitely difficult. I think with any business that you start, whether if you're starting like a music career, like a dance career, a business, anything, an art, if you're trying to be an artist, like just getting started is the hardest part. We're lucky that we had so many people behind it, that idea, that like it made it a little easier, but it was still very, very difficult to get it going and stuff. I think at the end of the day, you kind of just have to trust your gut and just like, if this feels right, if you got all these people around you, then you kind of just, again, struggle together type of thing. And I think that's what makes the experience successful, is the process. You know what I mean? It's not necessarily like the outcome. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, interestingly, like both, at least with me and Doe, we've grown up like in leadership and just knowing that struggle of just like 12 to 12 days, you know what I mean? Like just 16-hour days. So it's something that was weirdly familiar, but it doesn't make it any easier. Like it's so draining. And I think the energy and like what you get out of it, the positivity or like the good feedback, the good things that you get out of it is what needs to like drive you to push forward. Because yeah, without that, I don't think I would have like survived the whole thing. And honestly, like I think just seeing the team too, yeah, like you said, the team to back it up was really, really great. I think the biggest struggle for me, just as a mental block, was just the idea of scaling it to such a big level. We went from operating 1 day a week for 2 hours to now operating 6 days a week for 8 hours. So like what's the percent of that? Like that's like 400, like 4,000%, like bigger. So it's like, are we ready to do this? Are we ready? Like, so
That's
that was
true.
like, it's just that fear. But I think kind of similar to like the dance thing. It's like, you know, you just kind of have to just jump in and just
true.
learn to swim.
There's a lot of fear. I felt like I had to figure everything out now, or else, you know, like all these big questions when you think about, oh, how are we going to fix this problem that hasn't happened yet? You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
5 years down the line, and like, it's kind of like, okay, just worry about what's in front of you. But it's hard when you're doing a business, you kind of want to plan ahead. Like you have to do planning, but then you have to find a balance between like figuring solutions for problems that may not even happen yet versus like what's in front of you right now, you know? But thanks to these guys, we made it.
I know. We did
Thanks
it,
to you guys. We're even here. We exist.
Thanks, Mom and Dad. Moving on.
Kickstarter itself was like
I know.
a freaking whirlwind.
It was a kick.
Man, it was a
It was a kick.
starter. Yep.
Right, next
I just remember the boxes and then putting things in.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
like,
yeah,
that
yeah.
was Kevin's
I know we talked
garage,
about
like
that.
towers
Yeah.
of boxes.
Was that-
Those were
Yeah.
the days when we didn't have our
Space.
our
Storage
space. Yeah, we were just at your garage.
Meeting at SJSU till the library
Registration.
closed.
You go into flames to eat calamari.
Yeah, that's true.
What are your thoughts on the process of choreography for competition or for a video, etc.? From Erica Joy.
What are your thoughts? I have
Yeah.
many.
On the process.
of making a choreo for competitions
Yeah.
on the show.
You have a lot of experience doing that.
Oh man, I think I mean, every competition you learn more and more, especially in a leadership position. You just kind of like, I don't know, like you could plan so much, but ultimately you just have to be like so ready for anything that's gonna happen. So there was one year where, well, we planned everything out. Formations are here. We're gonna do it. We have time. Good. Week of the place, one of our members got super sick.
Oh,
Like
wow.
they like couldn't, like for the week, and they couldn't like even go to practice and stuff. They couldn't move, and I was like, oh my god. And then the other person had prom, and I was like, okay.
I mean, yeah.
So, well, they were
that's
dating
important.
someone like, in high school, you know. But yeah, I was like, oh my god. So you just have to be prepared for like anything that's gonna get thrown your way. Even in videos, let's say like, oh, we're taking just a little bit too long, and then there's like the lighting is like gonna change up. Like you gotta like figure out how you're gonna like quickly get through it. In terms of choreography though, like yeah, you just have to, I don't know, just be open to change. I think that's my big thing. I'm a big planner. I plan to the minute, to the second. So, but I've just slowly learned to like let that go
Nice.
over time.
It's all about adjusting or
Mhm.
adapting. Because at the end of the day, it's the picture that matters, the big picture. If I feel like in the director's mind at least, you're always thinking about the big picture.
The vision.
The vision, right? And what you're trying to put on stage. So you have to be willing to let go of, I really like this part, but it doesn't, you may like that part, but for the choreography itself, but if it doesn't enhance the bigger picture, then you gotta like be willing to adjust that.
On the process, well, it is a process. So meaning that like it'll change. I think from what I see, what I observe, and what I've experienced, you start with a skeleton, and then you kind of allow yourself flexibility on how you're going to fulfill that outline, I guess, or template. And then as long as you stick with the vision, I think the process is just part of the process, like adapting and solving problems. That's what I love about dance is like, you know, problem solving and how to like, okay, how do we do this? Like, you know what I mean? Like, how do we bring this vision to life, you know? So yeah.
Yep. So I think we ran out of time for questions actually. So
One
sorry.
more question.
One more. Okay.
Let's just pick one.
Okay.
Just, like, read them.
Well then, do that one.
This is hella funny. We just talked about this.
Oh yeah,
Read
it's the
it.
same question. Yes, we're gonna expand.
Oh, okay. Okay, another one.
Go. Speed round.
Maybe.
Yes.
How do you feel about copyright limiting a dancer's ability to share videos?
Oh gosh, that's a whole
Boo.
podcast, girl.
I know. Do we want to end on that? It's a good question, but
It
That's
is
a
a
good
great question.
that's a whole nother maybe.
Yeah, we'll probably do
Future
a
podcast.
Future podcast about this one from Rosie Buendia. Buendia.
Buen dia.
I know you, but I've never known how to say your last name. Sorry. But how do you think dance has changed as a whole in 2019? Wow. What was the biggest risks that you've taken in your dance career?
That's a good one.
Ooh, dance career.
Well, I think as a whole, this business was a pretty big risk.
Yeah.
Right?
I agree.
Can I see the question?
Yeah.
I like
Del
this.
kinda
This
talked
is
about
like
it
a
already.
this is a great like ending to our thing
Yeah,
because
yeah.
it's the end of the year, right?
Right.
Well, 2019 dance as a whole, I feel like it changed. I mean, it was this year was probably the most rapid like change as far as like generationally. You know what I mean? I felt like at one point it was like this generation, and then the next day was this generation. That's what it felt like to me. And one minute I know what's going on, and then the next minute I have no idea what's going on, you know? Biggest risk this year is I think probably trusting ourselves even more and creating an unlimited program. I think that
Oh,
yeah, so that was
wow.
the biggest
Yeah.
that was a
That was
really
this
really
year.
really really big
Dang.
risk, because the idea with that was like, okay, let's try to like make this lifestyle for our community, and so let's take the risk and see if people would bite and would actually want to keep their journey going with us and stuff, with our membership. So that was a big risk.
Yeah, for sure. Unlimited program for sure was a big risk. Bid risk.
A big one.
Bid.
Bid risk. Oh my god, a big risk. I think, interestingly enough for me, I think it was the decision to have this be my final year for Chocolate Factory and directing. I think it was risky because like I think it's like one of those, you never know when you're ready to let go of your baby, you know, it's like, but I need to let them go to college. You know what I mean? Like I need to let them like kind of live their lives, like spread their wings and stuff, but still give them the support that they need. But like, I think it's just scary because I think it's been a part of my life for 10 years at this point, or 9, 8, whatever, a long time, and all of my 20s. And I'm just like, okay, what's next for me? You know? So of course the studio, but then I don't know, it's just like it's another vast ocean that I have to explore. So it's scary, but I'm excited. I think. Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah. I guess.
So yeah.
I guess I did. I guess I did.
Okay, cool. Okay. So that just about wraps it up for Between Us Foos in 2019. So we're gonna actually be taking a break after this is the last episode of this year. We're gonna take a break for about a month or two. We'll kind of let you guys know when we're gonna be coming back in 2020. We're looking forward to a lot of new projects, a lot of new formats, a lot of new shows. So just make sure you guys stay tuned to our YouTube, Instagram. Just go ahead and follow us, subscribe to us, comment, give us a like, and then that's it. Yeah, so that's it for this year.
That's
so
it for 2019.
2019. So
Thanks for your
thanks
questions,
guys. Between Us
everyone.
Foos. We'll see you next year. Later.
Peace out.